Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited about today's video because we have a couple of new makeup products that we're going to be testing out, some drugstore products, including a pink powder. Those pink powders have been all the rage lately, and as someone that is not really a powder fan, I'm giving it a try today. And I'll tell you guys right now, I'm already more impressed than I thought that I would be. We've got a new cream blush and bronzer that we're trying out today, a new eyeshadow palette that I'm very happy with, and then we're just gonna fill in the blanks with some other current favorites that I have right now. So I hope that you guys are excited. Before we get into the makeup, if you are a new visitor here, welcome. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Make sure that your notifications are turned on. And with that said, let's jump right in. All right, so we're going to kick things off. I did already apply my foundation and my primer. So for today, I used my Wet n Wild Clingy Primer, which I am already probably about 1/8 of the way done with, and I just bought this. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I use it every single day. It's so good. And then I used my Mise en Snail Repair BB Cream, which I'm very sad to say the last time I checked, I could not find this on Amazon anymore, which is where I used to buy it. I think you can still buy it either on YesStyle or Stylevana, but it's so much easier to buy this on Amazon. I'm so upset about that because this is one of my all-time favorite BB creams, or really just foundation products. I love it for my skin, especially in the summer and in the late spring. I did not apply my concealer yet. We're gonna start off by doing that, but I wanna show you guys the newer products that we're gonna be trying out today. The first thing being the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. So here's the story on this. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I don't normally, in fact, I never get excited about powders. Powders don't seem to do anything for me typically. I just kind of view them as all kind of one and the same, kind of functional. I do have dry skin, and when I use a powder, which I do use a powder pretty much every day, I use it very sparingly, very light amount, because I don't want to emphasize dryness on my skin. And I like my skin to have a little bit of hydration, to have some dewiness to it, and I hate to set all that down. But I do have a lot of fine lines, and I do have a lot of texture, which I know powder is supposed to help with some of those things. And I have seen everyone and their best friend raving about these pink powders that have been going around, but I did not want to try one of the expensive ones out. So when I saw this in my drugstore recently, I thought, for $6, maybe I can try out the pink powder craze that's going on right now. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna be able to compare this to anything. So if you have had the experience of trying out the Huda one or the Co-Sauce one and compared it to this Wet n Wild one, let us know how they compare. I won't be commenting on that today, but we are gonna try this stuff out. So here is the big pot of it. I picked mine up at Target, and I believe it was around $6, maybe a little over $6. Let me know, are you guys really into this pink powder thing? Okay, so let's jump into concealers. I don't have a new concealer today. We're gonna use my Super Concealer from Relove by Revolution. Relove by Revolution by Makeup Revolution. It's so confusing. Gonna blend that in with my concealer brush. This is just the lighter shade. This is C6. This I'm putting all over my eyelids. I'm gonna kind of pull some of that just down right here down below. I actually don't feel like I need that much concealer today because this stuff has such good coverage. Okay, now I'm actually gonna mix a tiny bit of this on the back of my hand with a tiny bit of my Pretty Fresh concealer. This one is in Light 50W. So I'm just gonna blend those two on the back of my hand, put them right on the brush, and then just kind of tap it where I need it. I probably could get away with not putting concealer on, but honestly, part of the reason I want to put concealer on today is to see how well this pink powder sets those areas that I tend to conceal, which will be around my nose. I am hoping that it can do something about these large pores that I have on the side of my nose. This container is huge, by the way. Like the spot inside the lid, you'd almost think there was like a giant powder puff in here because there's so much room in there. I'm gonna use one of these little Real Techniques sponges, which honestly for concealer, I didn't love these. They don't wash up very well. I kind of find them to be obnoxiously too small. I'm going to start here on the side of my nose because this is where I could use the brightness and the pore minimizing, which I'm not even sure this is supposed to do. I think most powders are supposed to help to some extent minimize pores, but I don't know. You guys seeing any sort of major brightening happening? I do feel like it's doing a good job with the pores on the side of my face, but that's partly just the application method. I'm not quite done. I do want to take a brush and just add a very light layer on my forehead and on some of these spots that I put concealer on. So I've just got this little powder brush right here. It's actually my highlighter brush. Put a little bit of powder on there, and then we're going to, oh, I feel like that concealer did not get blended very well. Put a little bit here on my forehead. Okay, let's move on to this next product, which I'm very excited to try. I picked this up from my Walmart yesterday. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Glow and Go. This has a bronzer and a blush. I believe this is the lightest shade. So we're gonna start off with the bronzer. Now, when I'm applying these type of products, I actually like to take a brush and dip into the product rather than just drawing them on directly on my face. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm going to take this dense brush. This one's from Sydney Grace. It's gonna build a little bit up here on the brush, and then I'm going to tap it on the back of my hand just to work it in there really good and make sure I don't have too much product. And we'll start tapping this on the cheeks. It seems like I've seen quite a few people talk pretty highly of this product. But one criticism I have, I kind of feel bad criticizing Physicians Formula for this because they actually send me, they didn't send me this, I bought this myself, but I do get some PR from Physicians Formula and I really like a lot of their products, but their price tag is pretty high for drugstore. Some of their products, I'm just like, seriously, I could just go to Sephora and spend a few dollars more and get the ABH version. That might not be totally true. So this was, I think, $14.98 or $14.97 at my Walmart, which is typically cheaper than some other drugstores. And I just thought, 15 bucks, man, that is getting up there. I really am liking this bronzer though, which I kind of thought that I would. I'll be honest, I've never tried out a bronzer product from Physicians Formula and not loved it. Whether it's powder or cream, I don't know, they seem to have the formula thing down when it comes to, and color thing down when it comes to bronzers. This is really nice. It's a very pretty color. It's kind of like a very light, fair, rosy bronzer. I get why people love this so far. Now I'm more excited to try out the blush. I'm trying to build it up really slowly. I initially was tapping off on the back of my hand, but I probably don't need to do that. This is actually quite a fair, light shade of bronzer. But can you guys see what I mean? I don't know. There's just something about this that's a really interesting shade. It's kind of like shaping and sculpting, but warming and rosy all at the same time. Getting some sunshine outside now. So today is Good Friday. Happy almost Easter to my fellow Christians out there. It is so beautiful outside. Right now we've had some of the prettiest weather recently. However, it did snow a skiff last night, so it's very cold outside today. It's supposed to warm up by Easter Sunday, which I'm hoping the ground dries out a little bit outside because I really want to do an outside Easter egg hunt with Charlie this year. Well, with Charlie, with everyone, with my family this year. Charlie's the one that is like the most excited about it. I do it for the older kids because, you know, it's tradition, and also they appreciate the candy and the little games inside their baskets. But I know it's like really Charlie that's still, like the magic is still alive for her. So I'm hoping the weather will cooperate, but it's so pretty. Everything's in bloom right now. All the tulips are in bloom everywhere, and it just, oh, I love it. I love Easter season. Okay, let's try out the blush. This looks like a really nice kind of baby doll light pink color. Curious to see how well this shows up on me. Why don't we go with what I typically try out new cream blushes with, and that is this right here. It's my Alter Ego brush. Okay, we're gonna blend that in on the back of my hand. When in doubt, blend some out on your hand first, and then slowly build this up on the cheeks. That's pretty. So my skin looks so glowy today, and I'm trying to figure out why is that. I haven't put anything on. I don't think the BB cream is glowy. I just feel like I have a really nice glow going on. It might actually be the cheek products that aren't highlighters, but they might just have some gloss in them. It's very pretty. Okay, let's add a little bit of highlighter. I don't feel like I really even need it today, but I can't not apply highlighter. We're gonna go to my NYX Buttermelt highlighter. This one is in the shade Brighten Butter. Obsessed with this as well. It's the only highlighter I've been using for the last 2 weeks. Actually longer than that. I think it's been like 3 or 4 weeks. I tried this out the end of March. Just watch, you guys, watch this. Do you see that? It's insane. So pretty. So sparkly, but it's so sheer at the same time. It's beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the brows. I don't have anything new for this. I'm just going to throw in some of my Ultra Slim from Ulta Beauty, and then a little bit of my Sacco Brow Wax, and then I'll be right back, and then we'll do the eyeshadow. Okay, brows are finished. So I have an eyeshadow palette that I just picked up in my last video, the ColourPop Peach Out palette. I have tried this out off camera a couple of times already, but I thought we'd do it together today, use it together today. Perfect palette for spring and Easter season. Very peachy and pretty. I feel like it'll go perfectly with my shirt. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this. This is Sydney Grace Large Blending Brush. We're gonna dip into a mixture of these two matte shades right here. And those we're going to throw in my crease. Just kind of all over. A really quick eye look today, so I'm not being too precise. All right, and then we're going to take my Sigma E25 brush, dip into this shade right here. Ready or Not, a little bit darker, a little bit more brown in tone, and we're gonna throw this right through the socket. And I'll also take a little bit of that same shade and run it under the lower lash line there. Now, to deepen things up with that same brush, we're gonna take this dark brown in the corner here. This red is very beautiful as well if you like more of a bold, kind of colorful outer corner. Swirl this right along the lashes. And then slowly kind of feather up and in. And then take what's left and kind of go under the outer corner. Give myself a nice little kind of shape right here in this outer corner. Now we're going to dip into this shade. Let's see. Let's go with this one right here, the peach in the middle. A little bit lighter. This one's very pretty as well. It's very fiery and kind of orangey. So again, if you like color, you'll love that shade. This one is so pretty. And then I'm going to take a flat brush and we're gonna dip into this kind of yellowy gold shade. This is the one, if you watched my ColourPop video recently, I swatched this palette and I mentioned that this shade is just a tiny bit chalky. So today I'm going to wet my brush first. Let's see, I've actually got a setting spray right here. Let's just dampen this brush a little bit and then dip it into that shimmery golden pink. This I'm just gonna pop on the inner corner. Very, very pretty. All right, we are going to add a little bit of liner to my eyes now. I've just got my Wet n Wild right here. We do a pretty good smudgy wing here. I think I've mentioned this to you guys a few times before, but especially if you have a newly sharpened pencil or a freshly sharpened pencil, especially if it's a little longer, if you, rather than draw it like this, if you kind of hold it to the side and almost let the wooden pencil kind of blend and smudge your eyeliner as you're drawing, you'll get a little bit more of like a precise line and also a little bit more of a smudgy kind of blended effect, which I really love. All right, now for some mascara. I'm gonna throw on some of my e.l.f. Lash Extender mascara, then I'll be right back and we'll finish off with the lips. All right guys, the eyes are all finished. I do wanna just show you guys, I'm curious to see how this red, if I throw this in my outer corner, what it does to this look. I've been looking at that red and looking at this look, which kind of just looks like a warm bronzy look. I mean, it is more like a peachy than a bronze, but I think a little pop of red could be fun. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on this large fluffy blending brush and just starting at this where my wing liner is, I'm just gonna throw this kind of into my socket here. Very pretty. Let's finish off with the lips. So I don't have anything brand new to try out for the lips, but I wanted to dip back into my e.l.f. Pout Clout Lip Plump, Pout Clout, I have the hardest time saying this name, the Pout Clout Lip Plumping Pens. This one is in the shade, nope, not gonna happen. Oh, my glasses are so dirty. Pinky Out, my goodness. They should sell these with a magnifying glass so that you can read the print on the back of them. In fact, I feel that way about a lot of makeup. I know that I have bad eyesight, but sometimes even the glasses won't help me to see the writing on some of these things. So we're gonna take Pinky Out. I do wanna put a little bit of a lip liner on first. Let's go with Nonstop Nude from LA Girl. A little bit of an overline with this. These are so good too, I forget. I love a new ColourPop one, and I've been traveling with my Profusion ones, which I have like 3 of those the most lately, so I've kind of forgotten about the e.l.f. ones, but they're also amazing. All right, and here we have it, guys. This is the finished makeup look I have to say I'm pretty impressed with everything so far. Even the pink powder, I feel like I'm excited about this. I don't know. It's been a while since I've noticed such minimization here on the side of my nose. And I don't know if it was the powder or if it was the way that I applied it, but I'm very grateful for that. I'm excited to see how this wears. I'll try and do the same technique with some of my other powders and see if they give me a similar effect. It's very possible that that will be the case. But again, let me know if you guys have tried out this pink powder from Wet n Wild. What did you think about it? What did you think about some of the other ones? If you tried some of the higher end ones. I don't know about the pink color itself. Like, I don't know that it gave me any sort of special brightening powers, but you guys know I use powder pretty sparingly. So I'm very unlikely to see any major changes when I'm barely putting any product on, but I definitely don't hate it. That's for sure. The thing I probably like the most is the Physicians Formula Duo. My cheeks look amazing. Now, the only thing I wanted to give you an update on is I have had these two little swatches that I put on the back of my hand. Actually, the bronzer one feels a little bit set down. I was gonna say the blush one feels a little creamy still. That's very interesting. So maybe this bronzer one, the creaminess is kind of gone. It seems like it's kind of set in place. It's not really moving. This one still seems a little tacky. I am feeling just a little bit of dew and tackiness on my cheeks, so just be aware of that. I know some people do not like that feeling. They want something that's really gonna kind of set down and lock in and not stay sticky or tacky. It's possible with a little bit more time that will change. I've only had it on for about, I mean, it's been 30 minutes. So if it's not gonna dry in 30 minutes, very unlikely to dry at all. I don't mind it as long as it wears well and stays in place all day, which I'll keep you guys posted and updated on, so check for that down below. But I think it looks amazing on the cheeks, particularly this bronzer. One of the prettiest bronzer shades that I've tried in quite a while. The eyes look great, really like this palette, and I'm actually coming around to this shade right here. As long as you wet it a little bit, it's a beautiful color. I know I said that it looked kind of duochrome. It definitely has this like subtle shift between gold and pink, but it really just ends up looking kind of like a peach on your eyes. It's not as strong. I think duochrome was probably the wrong way to describe it. It just has a very subtle shift. But that's gonna do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, make sure that you're subscribed. I will have that Sephora video coming up for you guys very soon. And I also have a lot of blushes that I've randomly been acquiring. I still need to try out this NYX Buttermelt blush that I'm hoping might be a dupe for my House Labs blush. So I thought I'd come back and do a video comparing these two side by side. I did swatch this and compare it to the swatch of this. They look awfully close to each other. They actually don't look that close in the pan, but in a swatch, I have high hopes for that thing. So that will be coming up soon. I've got a 5 worst purchases that I've made video planned for you guys as well. So stay tuned. I know that it's been a little bit sporadic here on my channel. I'm really hoping to get a little bit more consistent coming up. But thanks you guys for watching today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy Easter if you are celebrating Easter. And I hope to see you all soon in my next video. Bye.